48,000. Ahead of all others, this definitive armada is an equal match to the noble title of Legatus Navium, comprised of over 175 vessels from every manufacturer of note. This perfect collection, including all ships released and concepted through 2953, empowers every fleet commander to forge a lasting legacy, leading humanity towards a brighter future. It's $48,000. I don't believe this. Well, this one's only $1,000. No. They've had that package multiple times. It's very real, and there are some whales that have multiple purchases of this There are packages you can't see because you aren't part of the Admiral Club. Do you want to know what's really sad about this? And you guys, I hope, don't know this. But in Femdom, this is extremely common. Where if you spend money on a girl, she has like basically different tiers of stuff. Where if you spend money, then she will offer you more stuff for higher prices. How do you know this? Because I find it incredibly interesting, and I knew a girl, I've known multiple girls actually that have done this. One I had extensive conversations and spent a lot of time with. And I asked a lot of questions. I wanted to know everything about it. I did. I wanted to know every in and out, every nuance to it. I wanted to understand the entire thing. And I just want you guys to know that this is a literal one-for-one with Findom. And they even have their own specific website. You've heard of OnlyFans, but this one is called Loyal Fans. It's a different website just for Findom. That's right. Surprise! Loyal Fans, there it is. Investigating? Can you give examples of each tier? No, I don't. I think you can expect what the tiers would be, right? That's about it. As I would know that? No. You guys have to understand. I've been on the internet for over 20 years now, okay? Like, 20 years ago, I had a computer in my room with unsupervised internet access, okay? 20 years ago. 25 years ago, I had the internet. This is like 1999, 1998, 2000. Like, I was the first one in my entire neighborhood to have the internet. Everybody would come over to my house to look at shit on the internet. So yes, I know how shit is. That's when I was born. Yes, guys, I've been here for a while. Make Morpheus? No, bro. Like, that was my mom. My mom, because she was on the internet. She was doing tech stuff. You have to understand. Like, my mom was flying across the country in the 70s to buy cartography computers for like $30,000 and $40,000 because my grandfather was a cartographer. He was a pilot in World War II. So, growing up, like, I have, like, a fucking, I have these in my house right now. We never got rid of them. Like, this was the old computer. I remember whenever my mom bought an IBM that looked like this. This computer, I remember when this was the new computer. Yep. I just want you guys to understand that these packages here and the way that the pricing is done is a literal one-for-one with Findom. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm not going to draw any conclusions from that. But what I am going to say is that it's the same thing. It sure is. What does this mean for the future of gaming? I don't know. Why don't you ask Ubisoft? This was sent to me with the caption, I haven't spent enough to see the 48K though. Yeah, the guy said he only spent $1,000. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely not in the Admirals Club yet, you know? He's only like a captain or something like that. Definitely not whale. Yeah, that's it. Holy fuck, man. Oh, wow, look at that. It's all in stock, too. Thank God somebody didn't buy him out, you know? Like, I better buy him now before somebody else buys him out. Yeah, then there won't be any more. That would be terrible, right? They have a special concierge service for people that spend over 10K. You get a dedicated support specialist on call to help with game issues. Concierge levels and rewards. Chairman's Club. High... Jacapaco, top hat, and monocle. As High Admiral, you understand that a hangar is more than a place to park your vessel. Grand Admiral. Space Marshal. Wing Commander. Praetorian. Legolas Navidum. The Chairman's Club was introduced in January 2018. This included a new section for an account for all things concierge, including your current rank within the club and what rewards you receive. Through this club, you can submit and review support tickets, as well as check in with concierge services frequently asked questions for the most recent topics and questions. While they are essentially the same, the Chairman's Club has more in-game ties and lore behind it, which will be further expanded on what concierge members will expect to see in the final game. There will be even more Chairman's Club members to enjoy, including in-person events hosted by our staff provided in intimate settings, limited merchandise designed with comfort and style in mind, and exclusive pledges available only to concierge members. I'm gonna be real. I think that if you're dumb enough to spend this much money, either you are an oil prince and it literally does not fucking matter, or, you know, you bought a lot of GameStop stock at the right time, or it's better in their hands than yours. A fool and his money are soon parted, and the fool was lucky enough to be together with the money for enough time in the first place. Should have never happened. Dad's credit card? Yep, there it is. I don't even know what to say. Come on, Zach, can you buy this for us? You want me to buy this? I'm not gonna buy this. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not gonna do it. I know you want it. And it would be funny if I bought it. It would be very funny if I bought it. But that's a lot of money. That's a horrible investment. Yes, it would be. So it's not worth the money. So if I bought this for $48,000, I would probably make a video about it. And it would generate collectively like maybe $10,000 to $15,000, assuming I do like 2 or 3 videos and they're really popular. So do I really want to do that and lose? Do I want to set $20,000 on fire? No, I don't. I don't like spending money, okay? I have no problem spending money for content, okay? Like Wuthering Waves, but I'm dropping like $500 and I make a video about it, makes $3,000. I'm making money with this, right? Now, I know what the economics for this are, and $48,000, guys, we're going to have to get the views up on the YouTube channel, okay? Like, we're getting pretty close to, like, you know, even one channel nowadays is getting close to, like, 100 million views a month. We're doing great, okay? We're doing amazing. But we got to keep going. So you guys got to start tuning into YouTube channels, turn off ad block. You've got to be watching, pay attention to the sponsor segments. Like, I'm talking like, guys, if you guys want this to happen, we have to really, we got to chip in, okay? Like, you got to... you gotta really put it in there. Fuck off? Yeah, exactly, right? So now nobody wants it. Okay, wow, okay, too bad. I guess I just won't do it then. Okay, fuck, this is crazy. $48,000. Is there a package? Here's the thing. Is there a package that's higher than that? I have 40 ships. The value... Will you come on to Discord and talk to me? Can I talk to you on Discord? One thing must be kept in mind is, considering Star Citizen still in pre-alpha, that it said progress may be reset at a time. Can you imagine if, like, these people get their $48,000 ship reset? That'd be pretty fucking funny. Try to recall. I'm not sure why it's working. Okay. Yeah, I'll end the call. I'll recall you, okay?
My bad.
You're good?
I had push to talk on.
There it is, right? That's what I thought. All right, we're good. Well, anyway, man, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself so everybody knows kind of where you're coming from and who you are?
Well, so I'm pretty much filthy or kale. You can call me whichever word of gaming stuff. But, so I was adamantly against Star Citizen for the longest until they talked about Squadron 42, right?
That was that whole tech demo that they did.
Yeah, well, this was before that, so because I loved Wing Commander, right?
Right.
So they did Wing Commander and stuff, and so when I saw Squadron 42, I was like, I'm on it. And then they're like, hey, if you pledge like $45, you can get Squadron 42, and you get access to Star Citizen, and that was like, okay, so I did it, but I never played Star Citizen for like.
How much did you pledge?
Initially, it was only $45.
Okay.
That's it. Right.
You said initially.
Initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what?
So, so you have it, but there's no Squadron to play, Squadron 42. So I downloaded Star Citizen, and I was playing. I was like, this is pretty cool. But then they started getting, you're like, you can upgrade your current package.
Okay. And that's the current package, that's the concierge thing?
Well, no, the package is
you
like...
You weren't up to that yet, okay.
No, I was not. So I went up, and then there was another one to where there's different packages, and they have like lifetime insurance, right? So I guess in game, once it finally releases, if your ship blows up, you don't have insurance, you lose it, right?
Okay, sure. So makes sense.
So when you pledge, you get lifetime, and then they slowly changed it to where you only get 60 months, So they got rid of the lifetime, and they've changed it or evolved it over time.
So you get 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can always upgrade a package to the next one and then next one. So then you get the limited time ones. So that's how they get people. They're like, just spend $5 more, you can upgrade to the next package. And then over a course of what it's been in development for since 2013 or something like that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so $5 here and there from all these people slowly builds how much you put into it.
Well, I know how much it builds. It builds over $700 million.
Or $1,000 for me, right?
So you spent over $1,000 collectively on this game.
I could check. Let me pull it up on. There's a site because I got hooked, man. But I haven't pledged since for like a very long time. I've pretty much given up.
You act like pledging is like an addiction. Like, I haven't pledged for 6 months. I'm 6 months clean.
I am 6 months clean. I'm more than that.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bad. But then you start, then they have like their little free fly every so often to where people that never played can get in, and then they can test it for free for like a week, right? And then that's how they start hooking more people. You give out game codes to people. They get streamers like you to just give them any form of type of advertisement like we're doing right now, and then everybody, then chat's like, I'm going to go try for $40, and it just keeps building.
So it's like, you think that it's like one of those situations where like they don't mind or care whenever people make videos talking about how expensive the game is because it's like luxury, I don't know, like conspicuous consumption, and so it attracts other whales anyway?
Or even the poor person with $5 in their dad's credit card. They are literally getting 23,000 people advertisement right now for free, right? And somebody's going to be curious.
I think they should give me the $48,000 package for free then. I mean, the way that you're saying it, I feel like that's just fair.
I mean, Zach, let's be real. You are like free advertisement.
I agree.
For these people, and
so
they should
true.
fucking just hook you up.
Absolutely.
Any of them.
Yeah,
I'm
please,
not
guys,
simping. It's
listen to
just
that.
true. It's like
Okay.
it's free advertisement. It's not. I'm not like going. I'm not simping for
So then
Zach or anything.
No. But what I'm saying is like, so you're saying that Star Citizen likes people talking about this because it draws more attention to the movement, right? Because like here's what's
100%.
so crazy about it is like, so I watched the Squadron 42 shit too, and like the tech demo and like the server mesh, and I'm gonna be honest, man, I can see why you gave him money. That shit was really promising and it looked amazing. I haven't seen a single thing that has ever been better than that. That's the best I've ever seen of anybody ever. So I get why people are giving the money. I totally do understand it. But after 11 years, you know, like how much money do you think they need to finish the game?
I'll put it like this: they have the money to finish it. The issue was, like 8 years ago, they put out a survey to like all the people that pledged, and was like, "Do we want to complete the game, or do you want to just give us free reign to do whatever we want? Because we want to make this the most realistic space simulator of all time."
Right.
And of course, all the idiots are like, "We want the most realistic thing that you could possibly get," which literally gave them free reign, and there's no end in goalpost, right? And then when I started bringing this up, because I pretty much got blacklisted, I can't even buy ships on the black market that they have.
So what is
right?
so is it a black market or is it a gray market that's facilitated by the devs? How does this work?
I guess it's more gray market, right? So you are allowed to sell ships, and there's an X amount of times you can transfer a ship. It's usually like one, right? So I can buy a ship that's limited time, and then later on I can sell it.
So you can't buy and sell them as commodities. That's why there's a transfer limit. Is that the logic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So it's out there. You could search for it. There's like multiple ones, and people buy ships on it that you can't usually get anymore, right? Or you can't get lifetime insurance on it, because once the ship has lifetime insurance when you bought it, it keeps all those perks that the ship has.
So that's like transferred over to the new owner.
Yes.
Okay.
And then also, like, so they release motorcycles, which is like $25 or $30.
Sure.
And somebody will buy like 100 of them, and it has lifetime insurance, but you can upgrade it. So those perks will upgrade to the next ship you upgrade to, right? Of a higher value.
So you start with lifetime insurance on a bad ship, and then you purchase your way up to a good ship so you can have lifetime insurance on the good ship. So they're not directly selling it, but they're selling it through extension by you kind of upgrading over a period of time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. But they've gotten rid of lifetime insurance, right? So
this is a complete legacy feature.
Yes, it's a legacy feature. Like if you click on one of them on one of the ships during the regular through the ship right there tab that you have next to the packages, it should tell you it's insurance. It usually comes with, right? And then they have different versions. They have like War Bond.
Is it under like tech interview or tech specifications? Structural.
It should just it's been a minute since I looked. But it should say what type of insurance it has. They could have gotten rid of it. I haven't looked, like I've said, I haven't looked at the shop in so long.
Yeah, I mean, the ships, to be honest, this ship looks pretty cool. Like, I understand it entirely. But, like, yeah.
That's a limited time one. So when they bring it out, I want to say it sells for like $700.
$700.
I want it. That's a Javelin, right? Like, it's not even in the game yet, except for NPC ships, right? And when it hits the store, it sells out within like minutes. And
wait,
it's crazy.
Whenever you say sells out, are you telling me that they only sell a certain amount of them?
Yeah, I don't have this. I've never paid that, right? But I've just slowly upgraded, and I bought like just upgraded over time with some certain packages and stuff. So, but yeah, people go insane. So when you play the game, right? So you're like, I buy that ship. It's not in game. So what they do, they give you loaner ships in game right now. So you'll get like 5 different types of ships you can use until the ship comes out.
Okay, so it's not. So you're buying a ship that doesn't exist. Well,
dude,
you're buying a ship.
Half of the ships don't even exist. They used to have them on the what's it called, the roadmap on, we plan to release this, this, and this, but then they revamped it because people were complaining because they kept releasing new designs of ships, or they'll come out with like some random ship that nobody wanted, and they haven't even finished half the ships that people have bought.
So basically, people are they're buying ships. Well, I mean, the ships never existed because they're in a game, but even in the game, they don't exist.
Majority of them, yeah. My dumbass
for a game that doesn't exist.
NFT. We are buying NFTs.
Well, you're not. You're not, because an NFT you can transfer it as many times as you want.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah. So,
yeah, it's worse.
I mean, it's worth less than an NFT on most of them.
Yeah. No, exactly. Okay, so people can transfer them and sell them to each other through this marketplace, and outside of that, you basically probably can't do that unless you buy unless you buy an account wholesale. Is that pretty much accurate?
Well, you talking about like from the site? Yeah. In order to get an account through the site, you gotta pledge something. You know.
So let's talk.
Or do the free flight.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the Admirals Club and the concierge levels, because this is very interesting to me. So, how does this work?
All right, so like nobody knows about it. I didn't even know about it until I kept upgrading, and then I just got an email saying, "Hey, welcome to the Admirals Club."
So it's like, not advertised anywhere. It's not like expressed anywhere. So like, do you think that they don't show that because like they're worried that it could create like bad press, or like is there ever any like, have they ever addressed why they don't make it public?
No, I'm pretty sure it's public. I just never came across it. Right?
Sure. Okay.
Like you have that, but I do know when they do tech releases or like they're doing patch releases that they have Evo Kadi people, which I want to say they're like beta testers and like people that have spent a lot of money on the game, and they get into this special group that can test things without anybody else seeing it. And then there's another phase after that they allow Admirals people to kind of like go in and check out the test universe. It's called PTU, Public Test Universe, and then they have like.
And how much money do you have to spend to get into the Public Test Universe?
Like I'm part. Well, once it's released to the public, it's pretty much anybody has the account. But then there's like another one that's just for the Admiral people. Like
okay, so this is
called PTU, but it's just released to us. So once you spend $1,000, you get into that one. But we'd have to find a big whale that. Okay. I used to be in this. They have companies that it's kind of like a guild. That's what it is. It's a guild, and there's some that have interview questions, and they make you send a location of where you're at with your picture, like of a sign, so they can look at your address and know that you live there, because they're worried that it's going to turn into like that Eve stuff, with all the espionage.
So you're telling me that you have to dox yourself to get into these companies so they can hold your real life hostage if you betray them?
Pretty much the big name companies, and they're huge. They have like hundreds of thousands of members, right? It's crazy. And I knew when I was in one of them, I had 5 people that I would game with that had multiple of those Legatus packages. That's the only reason why I know.
How? Like, so actually, here's a better question. Can poor people play this game, or is it just like, is it just like real life?
Let's be honest, a poor person will play this game, right?
Right.
Because somehow, bad financial decisions.
Okay, so people can play the game through a series of bad financial decisions.
Hey, that's why they're poor, right? As you always say.
Yep, there it is, and you're right. Okay, that is incredible. So why would they buy multiple $25,000 packages? Because
they are prepping. These individuals think that this game is going to be as big or bigger than Eve, and you know how Eve is. Once you have your company or guild or whatever you want to call it, they always have the best ships, right? And multiple of them. And this is how they're guaranteeing that they have the ships.
Like the Titan ships and everything. Yeah, I get it.
Pretty much, yes. That's a guarantee. Now, don't get me wrong. That gentleman that said he has like 45, I hope he's a gentleman. Sorry, whatever.
Sure.
But has said he has 45 ships. He only bought one and got the other ones in games. Yeah, you can get them in games, but they're millions and millions of credits, right? So it's a grind. So you can get the cheapest and you can grind up to it, right?
I understand. Okay, that makes sense. And do you, and you've spent over $1,000, so you're technically part of this concierge club. And do you enjoy any benefits that are provided to you by the people that make the game as a result of you being part of the Chairman's Club?
Look, I won't lie, I haven't used any of the benefits from the Chairman's Club.
Could you?
I mean, I guess I could.
Theoretically.
Yeah. I mean, I get emails, so I know when like special events are going to come out, and I get access to them like a few days before they're released, right? So that's why most of the ships I think get bought out, because the chairmans and the ones above me know that they're coming out, and then they just eat it up before it even releases, and then once it's released to everybody in the public, it's already sold out.
So it's actually, and like, it's not really sold out, right? It's just that they stopped selling it because they want more people to buy it. Okay.
Yeah, how the hell can you sell out of a digital item?
Well, I mean, you can ask them. So what are your thoughts now? Like, you've obviously spent, you spent $1,000 on the game. Do you think that money was well spent? Do you think that it was like you regret it? Like, where are you at?
Well, let's be honest. Yeah, I wasted my money. Anything online, I do the dollar per hour rule type thing.
Okay.
I have not reached 1,000 hours in this, and I'm not even having fun because there's no release. There's nothing. It's not even a game. It's just a test. Right? Honestly.
Okay.
They can literally close up shop tomorrow.
Okay.
And be like, oh, we couldn't do it, and we can't do anything,
right? Yeah.
Because you pledged. It's like Kickstarter.
I know. I watched the Amber Heard trial. I remember this. Yeah, no, I remember this exactly. And so, yes, so basically, and is this like a common perspective that people that spend a lot of money then become jaded, or are like, does the community regard you as like a betrayer or as a person who has seen the light?
But back when I cared and I would argue with people, they were like, "Oh, you don't have faith. You lost faith." I'm like, "No, I want what they promised at the timeline they promised it." But people like you are so cucked by these people that you allow them to just move goalposts and you don't hold them accountable, right?
Right.
So as long as nobody's holding Chris Roberts accountable, we're never going to get this game, because they want it to be so realistic. Like, they are designing the ships to be modular. That's how they're getting down to the part where you can swap out a cargo bay.
Oh, like with Star Citizen, or not Star Citizen. Fuck, this is what we're talking about with Starfield.
Yeah, but they've been doing this before Starfield, but it's going to look better, because it's supposed to be seamlessly
it's hard not
changed.
To. Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like, that's like it's like a 1-to-1 kind of like a conceptual comparison, right? Okay, I get that.
Yeah, so, and they have all these people who have spent so much money. Like, I could be one of them.
Right.
And just be like, no, that's going to come. I mean, let's be honest.
So you think it's like sunk cost fallacy? Is that what you're getting at?
It's pretty much. I think they're at that point to where they put so much in, they have to believe it's going to happen, right?
Okay.
I mean, $1,000 over, 5 years for me. That's really not crazy,
No, that's like really kind of reasonable for almost any hobby. I mean, fuck, people that play Warhammer probably spend that on a weekend. So, yeah, I get that. I understand that. Well, I mean, I want to say, man, there's a couple of other people I'm going to talk to about the whole situation, and so I'm going to probably try to call one of them and see what's going on. But I want to say, like, I had no idea about this. Like, I did this is crazy. Like, this seems like a pretty deep rabbit hole to go down. Like, this is nuts. Holy shit. So thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you coming on and talking about it.
If you have any more, just let me know. I mean, I'll send you more screenshots of whatever.
Boy.
Whatever.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you coming on. I'll see you later, man.
All right, thanks, boss.
All right, dude. Peace. Man. Guess what? We got a round 2. We got somebody else. Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And I was looking at this thing. Obviously, this is sketch therapy from in chat. We had a little bit of friction getting him on Discord. Welcome to the stream. So you've spent money on Star Citizen. Is this correct?
I spent a little, nothing like what he's talking about. And I spent on the MMO mode. This person, and there are some people that are very bitter about the majority of the community leaning into the MMO mode and steering away from campaign mode. At some point, there was a big vote and say, all you people who paid money, let's see what you want. And the vote went, hey, we like MMO. It's like GTA, but in space. And the people that said, no, we want more campaign mode, lost. Some of them stayed very bitter.
Well, the campaign mode is...
I want my campaign mode.
Right, that's Squadron
like
42, right?
That's the Squadron 42.
So they're still getting it, it's just that it's a separate game.
It's a separate game, yes.
How much money did you spend?
First I spent $45, then I spent about 20 more for upgrades, but this is like over years.
What made you stop spending money? What made you stop spending money? Like, you were spending money, you haven't spent money.
I have the same access and I can get all of the same ships in game, so I have no need to spend money. Like,
so
all
you're
of
happy.
These games, you
you're
see
satisfied.
that one 890? I can just buy that in game. It's easy to get credits.
Really? Okay, so like this big ship right here, it looks like kind of like a space Titanic. You can just buy this yourself.
That, but I didn't pay real cash. I have that because I did a couple of missions.
How many
missions?
How long did it take for you to farm this? Like hours?
About 2 days, 3 days.
That doesn't mean you could play, like, is this 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day? How long?
Okay, let's say I play 4 hours a day, about 4 days, let's say.
Okay, so 16 hours nets you this ship. How much money is it?
That one was 32 million when I bought it, but I was doing missions that I could get 2 million, 3 million. I was doing salvage. And when you would salvage these ships, sometimes these ships you salvage, they had cargo in it, and you can sell the cargo. So I would just sell the cargo. Sometimes it would drugs. So I would sell the drugs in the ships that I was salvaging, and I made like 200 million. So I got almost every ship in the game. Because as soon as a game is flyable, as soon as a ship is flyable in game, you could just buy it in an in-game store. So every time they have a new content ship that's released, you don't have to suffer the FOMO. If you wait a patch, by the next patch, it's buyable in game. They don't paywall anything for long. Because if they paywall I have that ship. I have most of these ships. I have them.
This is a cool ship.
If you paywall, I have a lot of cool ships. If you paywall anything for a long time, the people hate you.
Right.
So what they do is, okay, let's only paywall it for a little while, and let's make all the credits exchangeable. So let's say you bought this ship. And you want to upgrade it, but then you change your mind and you want to buy a really cheap ship. Well, you could turn it into credits, buy a cheap ship, buy a whole bunch of ships in game, and the other money you spent, you could exchange it for paints or guns or whatever, and not ever spend again.
So here's the problem that I have with what you're saying, and I'm curious to how you're going to respond to this. If it's so fucking easy to get these ships in game, then why the fuck are people giving the developers $50,000?
Some people spend $50,000 at the tables in Vegas. Who am I to judge how people spend their money? Some people are just rich.
Okay.
Some people, they spent $1,000, but they spent $5, $10 a month and watched it more than they watched their Netflix over 3 years. And they slowly got up there.
So you think that actually, like, you are a Star Citizen believer, is that correct?
I am a Star Citizen believer in you're responsible for your purchases. So if you don't have money for big ships, you know for a fact, if you're a player, that you don't have to. You can wait for the next patch and just buy a little game. The game isn't going to play itself. If you play the game, you get the ships.
Well, let's talk about the game playing itself. Do you think the game's ever going to release?
I hope it doesn't.
You
Games
hope it
that
doesn't?
get released treat their players like garbage.
So wait,
I
hold
like
up.
MMOs because they got to keep the people happy.
Whoa, okay, let me, all right, we gotta step back for a second. So you're saying, well, like, how does the MMO come out? How do people play the game if it doesn't get released? Like, what do you mean by, I think that
because the
framing
title
of the word
release has this false meaning that is like you can't play it. Right now, on Twitch, you browse, look for Star Citizen, you're gonna find, let me check, I can check for a second, you're gonna find like 1,000 people playing the game. So when he says it's not released, that's kind of a lie, because you can play it right now.
So I could log on right now and I could play Star Citizen.
There's 5,000 people playing it right now.
There's a lot of people playing the game. Surprising amount of people, actually.
Look at this guy, Burks. Real nice guy. Lots of people watching.
Uh-huh.
Great guy. There's a lot of people playing the game. So when they say it hasn't released, these are people bitter that their GTA campaign mode didn't come out like they wanted. And when they want it, and they're mad because they want that MMO mode. Not everyone. I don't want to cast judgment, but some people.
Are you over 25 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you remember...
I'm a 3rd Infantry veteran.
Oh, there it fucking is. All right. And so you remember the ancient text of whenever a game would come out and it would be called feature complete, right? You remember that? Where like a game...
people say that, but lately that's meaningless.
Whoa.
I'd rather hear the truth. Hey, it's not really finished.
Okay. Well, wouldn't you want to hear something better than the truth, which would be that it is going to be finished eventually, right? Like, because like I'm sure that they have features that they're planning on adding, and these features aren't fully completed.
Well, I've seen it personally.
You've seen it.
I've seen them increase the server size. Like the last server test was 800 players in one player shard, all with different ships.
Did they have to do
planets,
any time dilation? Did they have to do any time? Eve does time dilation. That's my understanding.
No. It's
no
all
time
real
dilation.
Time. It's all like there's no shortcuts. Like it's all real time. You can move faster, but there's no what do you call it? Loading screen. There is no It's like GTA. Basically, you're playing GTA in space.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at this video. It says Star Citizen 800 players together.
Yeah, that's.
This is what we're talking about. This is all the players.
That's all the players, one server, all going to different. It's huge. It's like GTA, but like 1,000 times bigger.
Right. Okay. So all of this stuff is available to do right now.
Right now.
You can do all this right now.
The server meshing test for 800 players was already done. It's supposed to go up. It was successful. They're supposed to integrate it in a patch or two.
Yes.
Like by the end of the year, that's supposed to be done because the test was successful. They've added salvaging. They've added like server meshing, which is a very tough thing in computing. Like real time. Like you remember you saw a video. Where they go like real time. You can do that in the game now. It's not like, oh, they're gonna be able to do that.
So do I have to buy an expensive ship to do that? Like, what if I spend $100? Can I get a ship that can do that?
No, you don't need to spend $100.
$45. Okay.
Look, just try it. All I'm saying is just try it for $45. You don't have to get all the chat to pay it.
Right.
It's just $45. Just get in the MMO. There's gonna be bugs because they're working out a way for the MMO to have a lot of people. They want Eve first person.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's going to be hard to do that. I feel like it's possible. And like if you can have 800 players. So were you part of that 800 player test?
I was, but I'm not in the video.
Okay. What was your experience doing that? And was it laggy? Was it problematic? What happened?
You can tell the difference a little bit when you move from one server to the other. There's like a little bit of a boundary thing.
You ever played WoW?
When you throw a missile, it'll kind of like veer off a little.
Did you ever play WoW before?
It's like the first version.
Have you ever played WoW?
I haven't, but I've seen your videos on it. I'm a big fan of your work in general.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, brown nose, but it's just a fact.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I was asking because, like, you know, in WoW, like, you go from phases and, like, server, like, shards as well. And, like, you can kind of tell whenever it's happening, whenever, like, players despawn and respawn. I was curious if it's the same thing, if you had played it. But, yeah, I'd have to see it for myself.
No.
Okay.
There's no despawning because that would be like a loading screen between servers, and they don't do that. The whole thing is to avoid that and make it so, like, let's say I drop a gun next to a bunker, I'll be able to find that gun in 3 days still there. Nothing despawns.
So if you think that the MMO, like, when do you think that all of the features that they are expecting and promising for the MMO will be complete?
Okay, I'm hoping they never ever stop.
Well, you would hope that they'd finish the things that they've promised, right? Whenever you're saying you're hoping...
Would you hope that WoW stops? Or would you hope that they keep making it better, adding areas, making it more seamless?
I think that I think there's a bit of a miscommunication. Let me see if I can ask it in a different way. So what I mean is that what you're saying is that you don't want them to stop developing the game. I agree with you. I understand that point. But what I'm saying is that there are core functionalities that are being promised at this point that have a beginning and end. Of course, I would want them to do additional functionalities after that and start working on those functionalities as well. What I'm saying is that for the existing functionalities that have already been promised, when do you think the timeline of those will be finished? Does that make sense?
A year, maybe 2. Like most of it, the biggest trouble is meshing servers, because meshing servers is a tough technology, because you got to see which servers takes control of which thing, how many players you're having in an area. Well, if you have a lot of players in one area, you have to dynamically assign a server to them.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're in WoW. Well, it's a big map, but a lot of the people are in one place. So let's assign a server there, so that you have good interaction and you're very well synced. Right now, the sync isn't good, right? A lot of times there's a little bit of desync. It's buggy. It is an alpha, right? But the core technologies that they're making is very breakthrough. That's why they're working on the Star Engine. They're smart. Like, if anybody out there is a Gundam fan, well, imagine you could play a GTA in space, but it's like the Gundam Universal Century, and you could just fly your Gundam from one planet to the other. That's what they could do in the Star Engine, right?
That'd be fucking crazy.
They would have even more money because they could just license that tech out.
Of course, right? Yeah, exactly. Because people would want to use this engine if it's anywhere near what they're advertising it to be. Yeah, and I think it's incredible. I mean, really, if you look at the tech for the game, if all of these things come out and they are as good as they're promised, this will be better than everything else. Everything you're watching in that
video is there now.
Okay. So now that, like, so how do you feel about, like, these really expensive purchases, like things like the $48,000 pack? Like, as somebody...
If you got $48,000, why am I worried about you?
Well, wouldn't that person have an advantage over you?
No.
Well, then why would they spend the money?
Because I have all those same ships, but I didn't have to spend $48,000.
Well, I don't know about that. I feel like if people are going to be spending this much amount of money, there's got to be something that they're getting out of it, whether that's saved time or money. Like at the end of the day, like, all right, let's reframe the question. Let me ask a simple question. If you have two players that are going up against each other, one player has spent $10,000, the other player has not. All other things being equal, who has the advantage?
Well, what's the goal? What is the win condition? It's GTA. I mean, I don't have to, we're not competing. You have your 10,000, maybe you have a really high paying job. You don't have the time to grind, so you just pay. It's your money. Who am I to judge? Right? You're not going to fly better than me. You're not going to beat me in a dogfight.
So
because I have more time to practice. So I'll just stomp you.
I mean, I can't argue with that logic. I can't. I mean, there are a few things I could say, but I think that makes a lot of sense. That's fucking funny, man. And
I think there's a lot of misconceptions here, because why are we worried about people that have $48,000 to spend on? Who are these people?
Well,
why
here's
am
the
I
reason.
About
Did you play Diablo Immortal?
No.
Good. So what people would do in Diablo Immortal is they would spend $10,000 and they would one-shot other players in PvP, and you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. That's why people are worried about it.
That doesn't work here.
It doesn't.
Nope.
So, okay. How does... So, bro, this
it's FPS, man. I mean, if you get shot, you get shot. There's no amount of pretty guns and skins is gonna make your bullet better.
Yeah, but if you got 500 health, you got an advantage over somebody that's only got 100, right? I mean,
well,
you gotta look
if
at
you
that.
got 500 health and you know how to move that. Remember, my ship has 500 health. The
Right.
only thing is, it took me a little longer to get it.
Okay. All right, okay. So you're not concerned.
I have all the same ships.
You're not concerned.
You gotta remember that.
At
While
all.
he was out grinding, I'm a retired. Right. This is like my game therapy.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have an advantage over the guy that has a lot of money, because when he comes into the game, he doesn't know what he's doing. He has less of an advantage because it's an alpha. And I know all the latest updates. I know the latest meta. Like, what happens when a WoW player comes and spends a lot of money, but you've been playing all day, so you know the meta, and they're fans.
Well, at the end of the day, that guy is still... I think your mic's breaking up, by the way. At the end
sorry.
Yeah, you're good. At the end of the day, like, that guy's got the mount, right? He's got the achievement. He's got the rewards from the game. So, like, if you can buy something, they're definitely... I think it 100% cheapens the reward of the game. So what is really, like... What's the point of the game? Like, what do you do?
Have the same mount.
Yeah.
The reward of the game, it's like GTA. When you get with a whole bunch of friends in GTA and you go rob a bank, and there's events like that where you go,
right.
There's like a drug running facility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of people that want to take over, and your guys want to take it over. It's called like a Jumptown mission. Bed Banana has a great video on it, The War for Jumptown. It's like one of their most famous, like, player playing the game videos. Bed Bananas Jumptown, great video. Well, when you watch it, and this is like an old video, it's just a bunch of player versus player action, and these guys got basically nothing. They basically like ganked everybody, took their stuff, blew up their equipment. It was crazy, but because it's basically an FPS and skill matters a lot more than what ship you have, the game becomes like this thing where the money doesn't matter. If you have a lot of money, you can jump in the game faster. That's not going to make you better.
Okay.
And it's really, really hard to impress people with buying a fancy paint or something, because they got your same ship and they can do the same stuff.
So,
like, oh, your paint looks real nice, and the ship you had, I just exploded.
So what would you say to people that say Star Citizen is a scam?
Well, I'd say you need to worry about your pocket instead of other people's money, because why are you worried about what other people do with their money? Are you picketing at Vegas because Vegas is taking $10 and $20,000 from people at the table? You mad about who spends on game? Why aren't you picketing at Vegas? They got an unfair advantage. Is that a scam?
Yes.
Why am I worried about a guy that spends $48,000, especially if I can get that same amount of ships for $45? Why? And that's half the price of most games right now, because most games right now are like $70.
It's getting more. 130. Yep, absolutely.
So why am I worried about these people? Why am I worried about these whales? Why am I crying to the heavens? Oh no, the poor whales. I don't care about these people. I'm not worried about. They're probably rich. They're probably happy. They probably got a nice family, and they spent on this instead of the tables at Vegas. And if you got a problem with spending, you need to see your doctor.
Ain't that a fucking fact? Ain't that a fucking fact? So you think that the people that are complaining about Star Citizen are totally fucking delusional?
A lot of the people complaining aren't the people spending.
So they're just complaining for the sake of complaining. Like,
I bet a lot of people that complain about your opinion on a game they never played.
I bet that's true. I agree with you. Holy shit.
I bet there's a lot of people in the chat very angry about the guy who spent $48,000, but they never played this game. They never saw it till today, but they're fuming. They're very angry. How dare that guy give his money?
What is the most amount of money that you've heard that somebody has spent on Star Citizen?
Well, I just saw that there's a 48,000 Legatus pack, so I'm guessing that's a thing. But, I mean, what's the most amount of money you heard somebody spent at the tables at Vegas? Are we mad at them? How many did they spend on the ponies?
Yeah, it's dumb, but like, you know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do with their own money, right? I know one guy, I actually know two guys that really spend a lot of money on gambling, and so yeah, I understand it really well.
But do you judge them, or are you like, hey, it's your money?
Well, I do. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it, like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, I do think it's a bad idea. Like, I do have an opinion about it. I do think that it is, it's dumb. I think it's dumb. But it's their money. They can do what they want with it. I see where you're coming from. And
I'm with you there.
Yeah, like, I am judgmental. I am a judgmental person. However, I understand that my judgments are subjective.
Okay, but like, imagine you could get all that stuff for free, or like for $45,
right?
And you get the same stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, at some point,
yeah,
you're just donating to the cause. At some point, you're giving the 48,000 because you just want to see the finished game.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, I mean, they've made $700 million.
That's not enough money.
How much do you think would be enough money?
Well, let's see. How much does it cost to pay the developers for all these years, plus the cost of AWS servers, plus you're having 800 people to shard, plus you got to pay utilities and taxes in 5 countries, right? So, I mean, when you start adding up, and you don't got a AAA backing, but you also don't have to talk to the shareholders and push it out the door. Right? You don't have to put it out and release it. Right? You see that? You can get a $45 pack right now and play it. People will just send you money. People will just send you $1 million because you can exchange credits like right on there, and people just give away. They're like, hey, let's do a mission together. And we do a mission together, and I've made a lot of money, so I'll just like give you a whole bunch of in-game credit.
So you can you can give another player credits in the game. Is that correct?
As much as you want from what you earned.
Wow. So, and I think that you bring up a good point. I looked this up for a frame of reference, and I'm hearing in chat that Genshin Impact is between $100 and $200 million a year to develop. So if you use that argumentation, and I bet the servers for Star Citizen are probably more in depth than Genshin Impact, then $700 million is in fact not enough.
It's the worst scam ever. He's spending all the money on the game.
Right. And so when do you think that people will, when do you think that I'm thinking like the way to put it, the stereotype and the bias that people have against Star Citizen, when do you think that will finally stop and people will see, oh my god, this actually is this really good game? Because
when will the normies come?
Well, real quick, like, I saw the Squadron 42 stuff, and in my comments, a lot of people might have just bought that $45 pack. They were very, very enthusiastic about it. They liked it a lot, especially with that tech demo they showed. That was fucking crazy.
Okay, so here's the thing about the $45 pack, all right? There was a vote. They lost the vote.
Right.
So they have to wait. That's how democracy works, right? They said, look, a majority of backers, we could stop right now and just work on your campaign mode. Is that what you want, or do you want this MMO to go to the moon?
Right.
And everybody, like the great majority have said, we don't want to play a campaign mode for 2 months and forget it. We want to play an MMO for a real long time.
Right. And so, like, in case anybody doesn't remember, this is a video I'm playing on the stream now this is all completely seamless transitions, right? Obviously, the wormhole is probably some form of like rendering, but other than that, this entire thing is completely seamless with no loading screens whatsoever. It's all in-engine. So when do you think that's going to happen, where people finally understand that this game is actually a real game? Because
that was the meshing test.
The meshing test,
That was
yes.
the technology that makes this happen.
Right.
That's supposed to be coming in November.
Okay.
Right? And then they keep adding like star systems.
Right.
Right. But like the basic technology, when it goes from alpha to beta, like we're just doing polish, we can add DLC planets, and you don't have to pay for other planets. Once you pay the base 45, you're in. Like what could happen is, like, to get into the MMO, you may have to pay more later.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you get in for $45. You're not gonna get kicked when the MMO goes like beta or release. You're not getting kicked, like I say. And there's another thing that was said about LTI, lifetime insurance. That's like, you can claim it. No one's gonna take away your ship. You're gonna have insurance on it. Because what they do is, like, you can fix your ship, but if your ship explodes, you can claim it. So there's like an insurance thing. So you could do insurance by like paying in-game credits, or just like have it LTI in the game for, like, I don't know, whatever amount of times. It's like a little credit sink that people that like to pay extra cash so they don't have to go through that can pay. And hey, there's something to be said about saving time. If you got a nice job and you got a family and you're going to pay that money so you don't have to grind, well, you know what? The game don't play itself. But if you want to skip a little and you got the money, that's on you. Right?
So you've been talking pretty positively about this game. There's some people in chat that think that you are a paid developer. Do you have any sort of financial relationship or any employment, anything like that relates you at all to development team in any capacity, in any way? Are you able to make any money if the game does well, or anything? Nothing at all whatsoever?
Nothing. I play the game every day.
Okay.
That is true. I do get more hours of entertainment out of it than I would a Netflix subscription.
Right.
But I have the choice of not paying anything a month. Or maybe getting a skin because I want to, like, you know, pitch in or whatever. You know, it's like optional. Like, you pay $45. Everything else, that's optional. You paid because you wanted to. Don't put a gun to your head. No one limited what you could get more than a patch or two, right? You could just get it in game. It's up to you, right?
I guess so.
What I would say is just play it. Just pay the $45 and just try it. I mean, it's only $45.
So
there's gonna be some glitches, but you got to see it like this is GTA in space.
Okay. So you think that the majority of the people that are complaining about Star Citizen are stupid and delusional, or they don't understand it?
No. I believe there's a lot of different types of people. There's a segment that's mad about everything.
Yes.
And anything that costs money, they hate it because they hate spending, and they think everything should just be provided.
True.
Right? There's people that is their whole philosophy.
Right.
And they get mad at any game that allows players to spend a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
There's a few of them, right, that think that this is predatory, right? That these people aren't adults with their own money, that they're somehow victims. Like Chris Roberts went to their house and put a gun against their head and said, "Give me the money," right? But if, like, you're addicted to Fent, it's your fault for being an addict. I mean,
there it is. You shouldn't have done it.
You can't blame the Fent.
Right. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. So you think that basically if people are doing that, they're letting it happen for themselves. Okay, got it.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, go ahead.
There's people that are very bitter about campaign mode because they lost that vote. And when they lost that vote, their estimate was that the game was going to be about 3 or 4 years after they vote. Right. And they don't care about campaign mode. They want they don't care about the MMO mode.
Yeah.
They want a nice little campaign mode where they don't have to talk to anybody, they don't want to interact with anybody, and it's just they hate the whole concept of like perhaps PvP danger. I might lose my stuff. Oh my god, I might get robbed on the high seas of space.
Yes.
They hate that concept.
And so they lost the vote.
Other people upset about the bugs. They're like, we want stability.
Right.
We want stability. We've been playing a while. We want stability. And those people I understand the most because I want stability too. But that tech was demonstrated in that 800 player example that they just did the test. So I'm like a little bit more patient about it. Like there are legitimate reasons to be mad, even though I don't agree with them, I can understand them.
So you don't want Star Citizen to actually release. You want it to just be continuously developed.
Or the MMO.
Right, yeah, the MMO.
I want the campaign mode to release.
Yeah, Squadron 42 or whatever, yeah.
Sequels.
For sure, yeah, 100%. I think people are on board with that. Yeah, everybody is excited about that. So you think the people that are complaining about it not releasing are fundamentally misunderstanding what a release is?
The people that say that this game isn't released are either talking about the campaign mode or don't know what they're talking about. If they're talking about the campaign mode, it's true. The campaign mode isn't released. If they're saying this game doesn't exist, there's 5,000 people playing it right now.
Right. Well, that's even 5,000 people watching, right? If you're talking about Twitch, right? There could be even more people. Yeah.
But there's like a whole more than 5,000 playing like active.
So
it's way more than that. But I mean, most of these people watching it are probably playing it too.
So, yeah, it's probably
not exactly
probably
right now.
Yeah, it's not a one-to-one, but it's somewhere around there. Yeah, I get it. So, if you were, like, obviously you talked about this for a while, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence or skeptical about Star Citizen as somebody who's put a crazy amount of hours into it?
Stay away from me. Go away. I don't want you here, Normie. I don't want your complaining. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Get out of here, Normie. I don't want you to regulate this. I don't want you to normalize this. I don't want you to localize this. Get the hell out of here. I'm gatekeeping. I'm gatekeeping hard.
Ain't that a fucking fact? Wow. Okay, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on and talking about this. This is certainly a perspective that I wasn't expecting to get.
I appreciate the opportunity. Much love, much respect. God bless.
Absolutely, man. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you later. Man. Man. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Wow. You need to play it now? It says it's GTA in space. I guess so. I mean, fuck, man. Maybe we're gonna have to try out Star Citizen. I never thought I'd be here, but here we are. Holy shit. It's so fucking funny to me. It's hilarious. You're gonna do it? Yeah, this is amazing. That would be great. This game changed my life. Oh, really? This guy played it a lot? Yeah, good for him. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I kind of want to try it out. I do. I do. I do. Fuck. I want to try it out. I think I might download the game and see what it's about. This is. I didn't think this would happen today. I had no idea. I didn't expect this at all. But buy the lowest package. I'll buy the $45 package because the reason why is that I want to give people a real look at what the game is rather than me spending all of the money. Because, like, for example, like with me going into Star Rail or playing like Wuthering Waves, we all know what those games are, right? It's a defined entity that everybody understands. But because this is an undefined entity, at least in terms of like the general public, I would not want to spend extra money because I want to have an authentic experience and tell people what that experience is truly like. So yeah. And I don't know exactly like how, like, because obviously you can trade currency apparently, and so I'd probably have to not take currency because that would effectively be the same as whaling. So I would have to pretty much play, I mean, not completely solo self-found, but like the majority of it solo self-found in order to give like a real fair shake of it, you know? I want the 48K, no normie experience. Well, I think that I mean, I could always do the 48K experience after, right? But I think that trying the baseline experience first would be the best idea. I think that's logically what would be smart, right? You can't block incoming money? Yeah, but I could also just simply not spend it. So it wouldn't be an issue. You can't deny people money people send you. Yeah, but I could still just simply not spend money that I got. So it wouldn't really be an issue. Whale and kill all the normies. We need Summit. Yeah, I saw Summit was playing it recently. I did. So I don't know what to think, man. Oh my god. It's like I'm already invested in Ashes of Creation, and like people think that's one fake game, and now I'm gonna be invested in 2 fake games? Like, guys, how much money... Bro, how much money did Summit spend? How much was it? So you also played it? I did. He saw it. Yeah, I saw it. So he only dropped the 45. Okay. All right. That's fair. Reasonable. Reasonable. Oh, 45,000. 38K? Yeah, I don't know about that. But I know there's a lot of people that y'all want me to talk to and everything. Like, I'm going to say this, okay? Right now, I plan on playing this game. Now, obviously, I'm probably not going to play it in the next month. Like, realistically, I'm probably not going to play it within the next month. Because I have, like, 5 other things that I want to do first, right? Like Elden Ring DLC, fucking, like, a couple of other games that are coming out. I'm going to play those. But, like, you know, like the Once Human, First Descendant, I'm going to play a few, 4 more of those games. I don't want to, like... Because this game, I hope this is, like, a saga, right? Where it's, like, I start playing this game... And it's like content for like Monster Hunter or like Dragon's Dogma 2 or like, I mean, better example, obviously a really successful example was Final Fantasy 14, right? That one went crazy. So yeah, or like a Lost Ark. Like I want this to be like a like actual like serious amount of time that I'm going to spend in the game, right? Rather than just me playing the game for like 2 days and then that's it. So that's why I want to like figure out a lull in content and then try it and play it out then. That seems like a good idea. It's more like GTA Online. I've never played it. Yeah, I don't want it to be like Cyberpunk because I think I disappointed a lot of people with Cyberpunk. I should go back and finish that game because I think it is very disappointing for people that I didn't finish it. So yeah, true.